I'm feeling better than yesterday, which is a plus. Hello. Got to try and make up time for yesterday today. Whoa, a candy castle. And look, there are even some little elves to go with it. Rooms laid out pretty much the same as Tangaro's. Not as cold though, that's something. Let's see, yeah. Looks like there's a temperature control panel in here too. Over there, where that orange light is, right? We'd better take a closer look at it when we can. Like a fairy tale storybook in here. And this whipped cream covered construction must be the work of Miss Delicious Scone. Where is Miss Scone? Me? I am just over here, dearie. Oh, just look at you lovely boys. Delicious Swan. There, Delicious Scone at your service. Some cheeky blighters back in Blight even call me Miss Delicious Tee. Called a lovely boy at 34. Unexpected to say the least. Lovely boys. Really? Even Mr. E? Oh yes, dearie. You're the detective over there. You're all lovely boys to me. I'm nobody's lovely boy, lady. Name's Bad. I wonder just how old she is. Finish this up so we can get out of here, Mr. Attorney. Yes, alright. That's the wrong karma. What's the meaning of this? Chit-chatting with the defense. Mr. Edgeworth, some scary guy just stepped out of the castle. Von Karma. What? He's man-free Von Karma? Sorry, mannequins. The notorious Prosecutor Von Karma himself. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Von Karma. Gregory Edgeworth, attorney at law. I couldn't care less what your name is. Your job is to lose to me and disappear, never to show your snivelling face again. What a thoroughly rude individual. Piercing eyes, that furrowed brow. You're even scarier than they say. You might want to keep such rude thoughts to yourself, Eddie. We were hoping you might permit us to carry out some brief inquiries, Mr. Von Karma. Why would I wish to extend you any such courtesy? This clearly isn't going to be easy. So long as your inquiries are limited to this room, I suppose I'll allow it. Why the sudden change of heart? You, the tall fellow. Name's Bad. Is that so hard to remember? I didn't ask for your opinion. The thoughts of a lowly detective do not concern me. But I do admire your spirit. Bad. See to it that these worms don't step out of line. Why do I have to? I'm not offering you a choice, detective. I need to go and look over Gusto's room. Good day. Great, more babysitting. Why aren't Detective Bad and Mr. Von Karma investigating together? They don't seem to know each other well enough for there to be bad blood between them.
Well, looks like we have permission to investigate. Guess we better get to it.
Indeed. I'm not sure I trust Mr. Von Karma's motives, but at least we can do that much. Hold up. I haven't been over this room yet either. You're not messing it up before I get my chance. You'll have to wait till I'm done.
Huh? I thought you were the lead detective. How come you didn't take a look at this room yet?
Because I wasn't the first one they assigned. One of Von Karma's pets was on the job before me. Right up until just now, in fact. I got here not long before you did. That answers my question as to why they're working separately, I suppose. I'd say we look over the room together, Detective. It worked out well enough before. Then you won't have to worry about us messing things up. You can keep an eye on us as we go. What kind of screwball attorney has to have a detective breathing down his neck? Because I'm stuck with you for a little while longer.
Yes, you're amazing, Mr. E.
You have our thanks, Detective Bad. Don't be too grateful. This is my scene. The second you get in my way, you're out of here. Of course, I understand. Now shall we begin? It's an incredible piece of work. Hard to believe this whole castle is made out of sugar and cream.
No, right? Like we're inside a magical medieval story or something.
I didn't know you were into such fantastical things.
Sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. Didn't mean to get so carried away there.
Oh, no need to apologize. I admire your enthusiasm. Sometimes wish my own son was as animated as you.
You have a son, Mr. E?
I do. He's still in elementary school, and yet he'd rather read a statute book than a fairy tale. Can't help but worry that his interests will make it hard for him to make friends.
Don't say that. He sounds super interesting. He'll make a ton of friends. Me included, I'm sure.
I like to think you'd be more of a big brother to him than a friend, Eddie.
Big brother, huh? Guess I have some growing up to do. Better take this more seriously.
Indeed. And with that in mind, shall we continue our investigation? Huh? These pillars, they have hexagonal indentations. Looks like something's supposed to go in there. Well, whatever they were, they're long gone.
Hexagonal indentations, huh? I wonder.
Castle's covered in whipped cream, so maybe a giant strawberry?
Giant strawberry with a hexagonal bottom?
Look, I like strawberries, okay? Can't blame a guy for wishing.
I prefer bananas myself.
No berries for me. The doors of the castle have been left wide open.
Yeah, was the guy born in a barn? Could have at least closed them behind him.
I'd like to see you say that to Mr. Von Karma's face, Eddie.
Wait, there's a bunch of stuff inside. Let's see.
Hold it, kid. If anyone is going to be handling evidence, it'll be me. Cream is going all runny. It's all over the detective's shoes. these items being stored inside a candy castle? Alright, tell me what you want to look at first. There's a bunch of blue cloth back here. Back there. 1, 2, 3, 4 rolls altogether. Well, they certainly aren't made of candy. No idea what this stuff is for. Almost looks like somebody hid it in here. I think I've seen this fabric of the same colour somewhere else before. Two big rock crystals. Looks like somebody was using the castle for storage.
I kind of expected something a little more exciting behind those doors. Oh, I know. Maybe they're giant uncut gemstones. Maybe this whole thing is based on a story about a castle with a priceless treasure hidden inside.
I think I'd treat my priceless treasures with a little more care. There's something on the bottom of them. Looks like a little stand or something.
I was right, they are gemstones. The stands must be so they can be put on display.
Well, whatever they are, it seems they're not just a large set of paperweights. A thing. The rock crystal stands and the pillars in front of the castle feature the same hexagonal shape. I believe the crystals are meant to be placed on top of the pillars.
Oh yeah, hexagon to hexagon. Makes perfect sense.
And if that's the case, then why are they being hidden inside the castle? The rolls of blue cloth and the rock crystals inside the castle. I imagine both must belong to Miss Scone. Miss Scone? What were you using the items inside the castle for?
Oh, those. Sorry, Lambkin, but I'm not allowed to say.
Let me guess. Von Karma.
How did you know? Please don't ask me to tell you. You'll have my guts for garters.
Seems the prosecution really has no intention of sharing anything with the defense.
Man, thought we were onto something with those giant rock crystals, but... What's that, dearie? You're interested in my little trinkets?
Your trinkets?
Yes, missy. We use them to make people all lovely and relaxed.
You use rock crystals and cloths to do that?
I do. It's wonderful. You should see it. And they're not just any old rock crystals either. They're great big lumps of salt with lights inside them. Wow, those things are lamps? Oh, that's not even the half of it. Those cloths hold an even more exciting secret.
She's really opened up the moment we started talking about her trinkets.
Since you're here, why don't I give you lovely boys a taste of my relaxation magicum? Okay, Birdie Bumpkin, can you get it all out and set it up for me?
The name is bad.
Never know. Why are you being so selfish, Birdie Bumpkin?
Have you finished taking photos of this room yet?
Yes, sir. We have, sir.
And help Miss Scone here with something, will you?
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Oh, you are a sweetie at heart, aren't you, Betty B? That's amazing, Miss Scone. You got him to do exactly what you wanted. That's some talent. Thank you ever so much, Battykins. And you, Officer Lovely. You've even given nicknames to the forensic guys now.
I guess it's her way of showing that she cares. So, what about this is supposed to be relaxing exactly?
Oh, don't be a big sourpuss, Batty B. The fun's only just beginning. Officer Lovely, you can switch it on now.
Yes, ma'am. Huh? Whoa, it's beautiful. It is. I wish my son were here to see it.
Isn't it though? Isn't it just wonderful? Four adorable elves in the sweetest little costume made of sweets. That's my theme, you see? I thought it would be extra lovely if it was all lit up. Isn't it the nicest thing you've ever seen?
One of the elves must be feeling a little left out.
This is how it's supposed to look for the contest. And I'm glad you lovely boys got to see it at least.
Wait, shouldn't the lamps be lit up too?
Oh, what happened there, I wonder?
I think we better take a look at the lamps and elves one more time. Ooh, go and ask Bloodstain there. So, Miss Scott had actually intended to use these lamps in a display. Then why were they stashed inside the castle?
Maybe because they're broken?
Except, there's plenty of other places she could have put them.
The best place to hide some salt is in some sugar. Isn't that how it goes?
Or perhaps the best place to hide a tree is in a forest. Anyway, if our intention was to put these salt lamps in our final display, that contradicts a certain piece of evidence in my possession. I need to point it out by making a deduction. Apparently I have something. The doors look nicely decorated now thanks to the beautiful cloth around it. Cloth which we found inside the castle. A welcoming doorway makes a welcoming home. That's just common sense for us detectives. As the man who just trampled all over this castle's entryway, I'll hold my tongue for now. My shoes are already covered in cream. I wouldn't go any closer unless you want the same thing to happen to you. We've seen what's behind those doors. There's really no need to look again. Lamps appear to be broken. Bulbs are smashed, both of them.
Maybe they fell and broke on the floor? Look, there's a red stain on the one on the left.
That's not just a stain, that's... Yep, it's blood alright. I can smell it.
What? Blood?
Why is there blood on this lamp? Could it have something to do with why its bulb is broken? Better take a closer look at the other one too. We know that the victim was struck and killed with something blunt. And we found blood on one of the lamps, which has a smashed bulb inside. Could the lamp not have been the murder weapon?
For sure, it could definitely do enough damage to kill someone.
You, science guy, did you finish analysing the blood from the lamp yet?
Yes sir, just got done a minute ago sir. The blood is the victim's, no doubt about it.
There you have it. The murder weapon was hidden in Miss Scone's room. I'm beginning to think we may need to add her to our list of suspects. Beginning to think? Okay, that's that done. There's a blowtorch and some chemicals here. I guess it's all for cooking with. Wonder what these chemicals are. Let's take a look at the labels. Man go down 911. Homicidian 247. all poisons. No, sir, they're common colourings and flavourings used in candies and desserts. The first is concentrated mango, boiled down to its purest essence, hence mango down. Never asking for trouble with a name like that. Now I'm curious as to what homicidian might be. Don't turn around, don't turn around. Turn around, you'll eat it. You can't eat the castle. Don't eat the castle. Guess he's watching his sugar intake. There's a small door on the wall here, just like in Mr. Tangaroa's room. Yeah, I'll open it. Ooh, temperature 68 degrees. Light set to green. Didn't Gusto say cream needs to be kept at 50 degrees? Temperature in here is too high. That is odd. I wonder why. Yes, we've been through that. There you give it a tick. Fine, whatever. It's a cute little elf made of candy, and it's sitting on a little tree stump. The fabric above it and the other decorations around it really add to the dreamlike atmosphere. Stare at it for too long and we might get swept up in the fantasy ourselves. Yeah, well, our job is to stay right here in reality, get to the bottom of all this. Nobody's getting swept up in any flights of fancy on my watch. These must be the various tools Miss Scone used to build her castle. Buckets filled with cream, trowels and a brush. Is she a pastier or a plasterer?
Don't you go making jokes at my expense, you cheeky young devil. I don't just slap stuff on walls like a silly old plasterer. I have to spread out the cream out lovely and smooth, then work out all the rough patches.
That's literally exactly what a plasterer does. Four adorable elves and the sweetest little castle made of sweets. And that's the theme behind Miss Scone's creations, huh? Unlucky for her, things aren't quite as sweet around here as she's trying to make them out. What's the matter? Something weird about the ladder? It's not a ladder, detective. It's a step ladder. Same difference. Far from it, actually. You'll know if you observe their basic natures more closely.
Easy, mystery. I'll have to remember this for future reference.
This elf doesn't have an illuminated cloth over it like the others.
Not fair to leave the poor guy out, Miss Scone. Well, I didn't want to, did I, dear? But one of my cloths and one of my little machines went missing.
Cloth and what sort of machine exactly?
Oh, you'll never guess how it all works. These luminous cloths are connected to these little thingamajigs. They're called full spectrum light emitting devices. They send light down the main cable and into each of the optical fiber strands. That's what makes the cloths glow. With a little bit of fiddling, you can change the light to any colour in the whole wide world. Bright red like ferocious fiery flames. Cool blue like clinking crystals of ice. With these special batteries that last for donkey's years, they don't mind the cold at all.
Forgive me, so these machines, they're
what makes the special luminous cloth light up in all these beautiful colours, mystery.
I see. So much new technology I can barely keep up. So these light-emitting devices, you lost one of them and a piece of luminous cloth.
That's right, Lambkin. Heaven only knows where they could have gotten to.
This cloth, it could have something to do with the case. The whipped cream in this room is collapsing because the temperature is too high. It's 68 degrees. My messed up shoes can vouch for that. And yet, when you opened the doors to the castle, the handles themselves were just fine. Yeah, they were sturdier than expected. Sturdy. That's not the way I would describe most things made of confectionaries. I think we'd better take another look at those handles, don't you? What the? I think it's safe to say those handles aren't made of candy. It's not just the handles. The whole castle, the little elves. They're all just plastic models with whipped cream smeared on top.
What? So none of this confectionery art. None of this is confectionery art after all?
No, it's simply made to look like candy, with the cream having been added to lend it all an air of authenticity.
What's the matter, Miss Scone? You seem a whole lot less cheerful than you were a minute ago.
Is it Mr. Von Karma? Did something happen between you two?
Why, yes. Nothing happened at all.
But you just said yes.
That was a hello yes, you silly boy. Aren't you just the sweetest little sugar dumpling? Remind me, what was your name again? Oh, Eddie. Eddie Lumpkin. Oh, you'll go far, dearie, I can tell.
Eddie Lumpkin? Seems our English gentlewoman has taken a liking to you, Eddie. No small accomplishment.
He's not exactly what I picture when I think of a gentlewoman, Mr. Reed.
Never mind that now. We should ask her a few questions while we can. Could you tell us what you did over the course of the contest?
The course, dearie? Let's see. It all started at about 10 in the morning. That's when we set to work. And well, I spent most of the time here in my room, getting everything ready as you'd expect. Oh, and then there was a lovely afternoon tea for an hour or so. Around 1, I think.
Afternoon tea? It's an English tradition, a chance to drink tea, enjoy a snack, and make small talk.
So, kinda like recess?
I suppose you could say that.
Oh, you really know your onions, don't you, Georgie? Earleg, pegleg, such a clever boy.
When did I become Reggie? And where was this afternoon tea served?
Out in the garden, of course. There's a lovely little one just outside. They do it at the same hour every break time during the contest. Lay on a nice little spread, you know? But today only me, Samson Silly Pants, and Moody Judy were there for it. Sammy Pooply had already finished his big creation, so he was there the whole time. But poor old Chillywinks and Gusty Pants had to miss out because they hadn't finished yet. Bless them.
You're saying everybody except Mr. Frost and Mr. Gusto were present.
That's right, dear. To tell you the truth, I hadn't finished yet either. But I wasn't about to miss out on tea and cake served by our 2 TV superstars. I went right back to work when I finished, though. Toodled off while the others were still nattering away.
At any point during the contest, did you visit any of the other competitors' rooms?
What? No, dear. Don't be silly.
That's strange because your fingerprints were found in Mr. Tangaroa's room.
Caught red-handed?
Wait, so you admit you were there?
Oh, well, I didn't now, can I? But I didn't kill anybody, I swear. Suppose I better tell you what really happened. Just promise you'll believe me, won't you, dear?
What exactly were you doing in Mr. Tangaroa's room?
Well, was, suppose you call it, research.
Research.
Sammy Pooply is a dab hand when it comes to the old sweet making. Everybody knows that. When I noticed that there was no one in there, I just hopped in for a quick bit of research, like I say.
What kind of research leaves fingerprints?
Yes, well, it stands to reason I leave fingerprints, doesn't it? After all, it's hardly research if you don't have a little nibble now, is it? What? You ate little pieces of them?
Oh, the traces of tampering in Mr. Tangaroa's room. That was all you.
I'm ever so sorry, sweeties. I didn't mean to make a mess. Just... I had to take a little bite here and there, didn't I? I didn't want poor Sammy Pooply getting upset, so it was just the teensiest bits and pieces.
And the stand holding up the ship? You took a bite out of that too, I suppose.
Oh yes, dear, of course I did.
It was you. You brought the whole thing crashing down.
I'm sorry, my lovely. Truly I am.
Thorn.
Is that why you left the afternoon tea early? You were headed off for a second help in the sweets? Look, just please believe me. I never killed anybody, I promise.
Your actions were certainly suspicious, but that's about all we can say for now. Okay. Had to check.
The thick, sweet scent and delicious whipped cream was in the air, like a fairy tale but in real life. Yet, there he was, standing in the middle of it all with that evil look on his face. The whole experience is wasted on the scary old creep.
Come now, Eddie. You can't call people names like that. It's rude.
Sorry, Mr. Ridgeworth. Try to be more careful. Just reminds me of this teacher I once had who was always super angry with me.
Stern school teacher, huh? Now that he mentions it, Mr. Von Karma does have the look of one. I'd shudder to think what it would be like for Miles to study under him. What other friend do I present?
Oh, look at that. Don't you have the loveliest toys, Greggy Bear Gleg? That colour. Oh no, that won't do. Here, let me put a lovely splotch of cream on it.
Please stop that.
Oh You got quite the eye, haven't you, dearie? You'd be amazed at how it works. Actually, never mind. Can't go giving away my secrets now, can I?
That was strange. What just happened? Did Mr. Von Karma bully her into staying silent about what she knows? What the fuck do I do? Yes, proper. Yes. Take a look at the list of rules for the contest, Detective. Non-confectionery items may not be used as decoration. That means the salt lamps and the luminous cloths would have both been against the rules.
Is that why they were stashed away inside the castle?
I think we need to dig a little further into this with Miss Scone before we can say for sure. So not only did she use decorations that were against the rules, she didn't even make any real sweets. Miss Scone made a mockery of the rules. Yeah, I guess she's not gonna get crowned world's greatest now.
Why is it so warm in here? Do you think it's got something to do with all this?
That's a good question. I think we'd better go ask Miss Scone herself. Miss Scone, why is the temperature of your room set to 68 degrees?
Because I hit the cold, don't I, dearie? And besides, being chilly's no good for a gal. If I want to keep my fresh face complexion, I've got to be careful about these things. You ladies have to stay strong, stay young, you know, don't you know?
How old is she really, though? That's what I'd like to know. Not polite to speculate on a person's age, Eddie. But most of your work is made out of whipped cream. And whipped cream needs to be kept at 50 degrees or it starts to deflate.
That's so, dearie. Well, silly me. I've only gone and made a whoopsie.
Wait, she really didn't know that? World-class confectioner, my foot. Not only did she break the rules by using fake candy, she's ignorant of basic facts about her supposed craft. Miss Scone grows more mysterious by the minute. Miss Scone appears to lack basic knowledge about how confectionery is created. And she says that she snuck into another entrance room for research purposes. Hardly the actions of a world-class confectioner competing for a major prize. Yeah, not how I'd picture a top pro acting. Does she maybe just lack a little confidence, or is she not actually a confectioner at all? Perhaps she had another agenda altogether. After all, we only have her word for it that she went into that room to do some research. Wait, you mean maybe she went in there to commit a murder? No way of saying so for certain just yet. But she is hiding something, that much I'm certain of. That's enough investigating for now, don't you think? Yes, we certainly found plenty of interest. Something's been bothering me for a while now. Mr. Von Karma would have surely found the murder weapon when he searched this room. And yet, he didn't arrest Miss Scone. He didn't even seem interested in questioning her. I think our first priority should be to find out what he's really up to. Detective Bad, I have a few things I'd like to ask Mr. Von Karma. Me too. Him and Scone.
How could you, Betty Pumpkin? Stop staring at me like that.
Yes, Detective Bad is just as suspicious of Mr. Von Karma and Miss Scone as I am. Miss Scone, would you be so kind as to accompany us?
Of course, dear. Where are we off to?
To find Mr. Von Karma. Mr. Von Karma, we'd like to speak with you if that's alright. Judging by your faces, I'm guessing you found the murder weapon. We did. It was in Miss Scone's room. Which means that Mr. Tangaroa should no longer be the only person of interest. Nonsense. It doesn't matter where the weapon was found. Tangaroa is guilty. And as long as this is my case, guilty he shall remain. How can you be so sure of Mr. Tangaroa's guilt? You have an explanation, I assume? For why the murder weapon was in Miss Scone's room? Of course I do, and I'll be delighted to share it with you. Tangaroa killed Frost with one of Scone's salt lamps in order to frame her for the murder. To complete the deception, he took it back to her room once the deed was done. After all, if it had been found near the victim's body, Tangaroa would have seemed doubly suspicious. A body may be hard to move, but a murder weapon considerably less so. And that is why there was no piece of evidence on the scene that pointed to a particular suspect. So, it's your assertion that Mr. Tangaroa took the salt lamp back to Miss Scone's room? It is indeed. But it is more than an assertion. It is a fact, based on my own investigation. You mean you have proof that he did so? I don't need any such thing. What? If you have a rebuttal, I'll be happy to hear it. But I highly doubt you'll be able to fault my logic. I do have one big covering body thing. But whatever.
Hold it!
So he took one of the salt lamps from Miss Scone's room back to his own? Indeed. He prepared it beforehand, knowing that it would be the perfect weapon with which to kill Frost. But we found the lamp in Miss Scone's room. Surely this cast Miss Scone herself in a suspicious light. Perhaps if you would let me finish, Now, as I was saying,
Hold it!
you're talking about the lamp made of rock salt that was hidden inside the Candy Castle, correct? Precisely. I was the one who found it. So be grateful. It's thanks to me that you even have such a vital piece of evidence. What made you go inside the castle in the first place, if you don't mind me asking?
Good point, maybe he just wanted to see what it was like in there.
Fools. You think I went in there on a whim? I went in there because detectives are an incompetent lot, and I investigated it myself. But I had nothing to do with the initial investigation. That's right. Detective Band wasn't a part of this investigation until very recently. If you want my trust, Detective, you'll have to earn it. And a good first step would be to stop wasting my time. Now if you'll allow me to continue.
Hold it!
But he came under suspicion anyway due to the body being in his room. So why? Would you like to hear a favorite expression of mine? Even a dog can hold still and stay. Now let me finish. If only I could say the same to you.
Hold it!
So you think he had the body in the chest but removed the murder weapon from the crime scene? Yes, he foolishly believed his own creation to be the perfect hiding place.
I'm sorry, I had to help myself.
I think you mean you couldn't help yourself, no? He doesn't seem very sorry to me. In any case, the weapon was taken away while the body remained at the scene of the crime.
Hold it!
But if there's no proof, how can you say for certain that Mr. Tangaroa is the culprit? Is that the best you can do at pressing me? Listen here, the presence of the body in Tangaroa's room is in itself proof enough of his guilt.
Objection!
And you didn't find evidence pointing to any other possible suspects? Perhaps you should take another look, you might... You really don't give up, do you? There is no need to take another look. Tangaroa's guilty. End of story. If you insist on asserting otherwise, then show me some proof to back up your ridiculous claim. Now to think back over the scene of the crime, Mr. Tangaroa really isn't guilty. And there must be something that points to somebody else. I mean, there is. But I can't help but think this is a Von Karma trap. Pressing Mr. Von Karma on any of his statements wouldn't have much of an effect, I fear. My only hope is to find a piece of evidence that contradicts his claims.
Objection!
It's true that the murder weapon and the blood-stained chocolate were removed from the scene of the crime. Something else remained that does point to one person in particular. Take another look at the photograph of the body, if you will. The cloth covering the victim's lower half. Is that not one of the same luminous cloths we found in Miss Scone's room?
What's that, dearie? One of my lovely colourful cloths at the scene of the crime, you say?
Luminous cloth. Nonsense. I see no light to speak of.
I guess he doesn't know how it works.
It may look like ordinary fabric at first glance, but attach one of these light-emitting devices, and the difference soon becomes apparent.
Look at his face. I don't think he was expecting that.
But the fact that the cloth can be lit up is neither here nor there. We have to show him why it's important. One of the rolls of cloth from Miss Scone's room went missing, and if you look closely at the blue cloth in the picture, wouldn't you say it's clearly made of the same material, Mr. Von Karma? The salt lamp and the luminous cloth both belong to Miss Scone. And seeing as the body was wrapped in said cloth, surely even you have to admit that's suspicious. Mr. Von Karma, I think it's time to accept that a number of factors point to Miss Scone as a person of interest.
Reggie Pegleg, how could you? You're accusing me of all people.
I'm not accusing you of anything just yet, but I do think you're hiding something.
That's not...
Just to clarify, your assertion is that both the murder weapon and the cloth were in Miss Scone's room prior to the murder. Exactly. Was something funny? Only that you've walked so carelessly into my trap. Neither the cloth nor the murder weapon were in fact in her room. So sorry to have to break it to you. What does he mean? Tangaroa spotted them before the contest began and noted that the lamps and cloths contravened to the rules. He subsequently confiscated them and took them to his own room for safekeeping. What? Then, after the contest began, nobody saw hide nor hair of Frost, as he had secluded himself in his room. And the only person capable of entering his locked room was Tangaroa, possessing as he did the only key. And as you know, he was also in possession of the lamp used to commit the murder. So you see, I have had everything I need to get Tangaroa convicted all along. Well, how does it feel to have lost to me before even setting foot in the courtroom? This can't be happening.
Wait, all our hard work was for nothing? Miss Scone, why didn't you tell us your stuff was confiscated by Mr. Tangaroa? Well dear, Mannequin said that if I spilled the beans I'd end up being the one under suspicion. Mr. Von Karma said that. And he wasn't wrong now, was he? You two accused me yourselves just a second ago.
Pathetic. Curse you, Von Karma. You led us to the murder weapon knowing we'd make certain assumptions as a result. One more thing, my pathetic friend. There are 2, and only 2 sets of fingerprints on the murder weapon. 2? Yes. Those of Delicia Scone and Samson Tangaroa. No others were found. Tangaroa used the lamp he had confiscated to murder Frost, and was foolish enough to hide it in Scone's room without first removing his fingerprints. At this rate, no one will even need to testify. My perfect evidence will do all the talking for me, as I secure his guilty verdict.
Objection!
But wait, what about the luminous cloth that was left behind in Mr. Tangaroa's room? What about it? He probably meant to return it after disposing of the body. I have enough to disprove any of what he's saying. No more pitiful objections. Then get out of my sight and close the door behind you.
Mr. A!
I'm not about to just give up. I see you mean to waste more of my time. Bad, escort them off the premises now. This investigation is not over yet. Detective Bad? What is the meaning of this? Sorry, but I'm not in the habit of leaving cases half solved. There's still one last thing from the crime scene we haven't identified. That's right, we still have the evidence of somebody's activities to account for. We can discuss your lingering doubts at our leisure, detective. But whatever they might be, they're no business of the defense's.
Objection!
I beg to differ. There's a piece of evidence I'm still not satisfied about either. I suspect it might be the same thing that's bothering Detective Bad. What? This is the yet unidentified something that was left in Mr. Tangaroa's room.
Take that!
We still haven't properly identified this piece of evidence. That's not what I was thinking of. Oh? Really? Really? Not that. What the fuck is it? Is this room? Is that fingerprints? That's the key. Room, that's Mr. Tangaroa's tea prints. Seal is the only goddamn thing. Why?
Take that!
Okay, finger marks. Fine, 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 fine. I mean, the seal was much more fucking... no, whatever, fine. First time playing this game. Time. Does it show? There are finger marks on one of Mr. Tangaroa's creations. Supposing they belong to the murderer, it could certainly explain how their prints didn't end up on the murder weapon. How do you know so much about the crime scene? Because I let them look around. You let the defense examine the scene, Bad. Are you out of your mind? I don't remember you telling me not to. Insolent worm. You would do well to remember this then, Detective. But the results of your next salary review is up to me. Oof.
Detective Bad's in trouble now too. Sure glad you're my boss, Mr. Edgeworth.
Would you remember that the results of your salary review is up to your performance on this case? A mere attorney uncovering such a fact based on a cursory investigation. I'm almost impressed. But it's entirely possible that those finger marks belong to Tangaroa. After all, he wore gloves while preparing his creations.
Objection!
But can you prove conclusively that the finger marks are his? Furthermore, there is still something about Miss Scone that doesn't add up. Is there? Or are you simply not prepared to admit defeat?
Oh, stop it, Greggy. Stop it. Stop it. Why are you being so mean to your poor old pal, Delicia? You owned up to nibbling poor Sammy Pooh's sweeties. What more do you want?
I don't want to have to make you a suspect, that much is certain. You lied to us. And you're still not telling us everything.
Greggy, stop it. Stop bullying me.
I'm sorry, but you don't even know the temperature whipped cream should be kept at. What kind of professional confectioner doesn't know something as fundamental as that?
I'm sorry, alright? I'm sorry. I'm just a silly, muddle-headed gal. What more do you want me to say?
I don't think you're muddle-headed at all. I think that you were never a confectioner in the first place. Enough. I'll thank you to keep your baseless accusations to yourself. Evidence is everything in a courtroom, in case you've forgotten. If you're going to accuse a witness of perjury, then I demand that you present something to back it up. But this isn't a courtroom, is it? Nevertheless. What proof do I have that Miss Scone doesn't know the first thing about making desserts?
Take that!
Every single one of Miss Scone's creations break the rules of the contest. The offending items, the cloths and the lamps, were duly confiscated as we have established. And the witness did not go and bring them back to her room herself.
Objection!
But those weren't the only rule-breaking items in her room. What? The entire fantastical world Miss Scone created, every last bit of it. It's all just a collection of plastic models slathered in whipped cream. That cream is the only authentic confectionery in the room. No real-world title contender would ever stoop so low. Is this true bad? Yep, saw it with my own eyes. Stepped in it with my own shoes.
Did we finally convince him?
With her lies exposed like this, surely he can't continue to deny the facts. Miss Scone, your actions place you firmly on our list of suspects.
But, no dear, I'm no killer.
Then why don't you finally start telling us the truth? Who are you really? And why were you tampering with your rival's work?
Alright. The truth is, I'm not the adorable little cook you see before you. I'm actually a pharmacist, if you can believe it. A pharmacist?
I can't blame him for being so surprised. This couldn't be further from what we'd imagined. So what's somebody in your line of work doing entering a contest like this one?
I just love eating sweets, if you must know. And Sammy Pooply's sweets are the best, or so they say. I just had to enter. Didn't mean to end up making it all the way to the final.
Even Mr. Von Karma is lost for words.
That's the only reason you're here? Yes, dearie, it was worth it. Them sincerely pants sweeties are the tastiest treats I ever did eat.
And the finger marks. Were you the one wearing the gloves?
No. That wasn't me, dear. I don't even wear gloves.
Remember, Miss Scone's fingerprints were found elsewhere on Mr. Tangaroa's other creations. I'd say that points to her not having worn any gloves.
Oh, there, McKin. Braggy Pegleg got the right end of the stick. I'm an innocent woman.
Is your head filled with cream too?
Sorry, mannequins.
Her head may not be filled with cream, but she's certainly no master of subterfuge. Miss Scone, were Mr. Tangaroa's works the only ones you sampled?
No, dear. I couldn't help myself. When I'd finished my afternoon tea, I tiptoed over to Chillywink's room for a little taste, too.
You were in the victim's room too?
Yes, dear. Nobody was in there, you see. Quite possibly because the occupant...
No, quite possibly because the occupant was already dead.
But I could only stomach one little bite. Never tasted anything so salty in all my life. I had myself one of the tasty star-shaped bits off on the side to cleanse my palate.
You have quite the sweet tooth, don't you, Miss Scone? Indeed. What didn't she sample?
That's everything, I promise. Braggy Peglegs, mannequins, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make a mess of things.
As long as what you've told us is the truth, that's all that matters in the end. Do not think for a second that this means I myself believe you. I'm going to investigate the victim's room now. We'll see how truthful you've really been after I'm through. Mr. Von Karma, please let us accompany you. I think it's only fair that we be allowed to investigate the veracity of our conclusions. Accompany me if you like, but don't think for a second you'll be permitted to conduct your own investigation. We'd like to accompany you all the same. What is the meaning of this? When we got to front... That would be Old Fender, wouldn't it? When we got to Frost's room, we saw another. It was all gone. The whole enchilada. Was this the work of the culprit? Dead body hidden in a chocolate chest. Murder weapon moved mysteriously to another room. This case was a real peach, and it was going to take some serious sleuthing to get to the bottom of it all. Whoa, went deep on that one. Sorry, Malzarino. Didn't mean to bend your ear for so long. I had no idea that's how it all came about. I read the files, but they didn't go into anywhere near that level of detail. I bet they paint things in a much rosier light for the prosecution, too. Onkama was the one in charge, after all. What happened with the case after that? Well, what with the ice sculptures vanishing from the victim's room, things hit a bit of a rough patch. So rough, in fact, that it took a full year before they could even reach a verdict in the trial. A year? This was back before they brought in the whole initial trial thing. You didn't have to finish up in double quick time like you do nowadays. I see. Did they ever find out how the victim's creations managed to just disappear? Well, they were sorbets or frozen desserts or whatever you want to call them. Ice, in other words. And if it's made of ice, it can melt, which is exactly what they concluded must have happened. But there's a chance that wasn't how things actually went down. What do you mean? So, this place is a gallery these days. Back then it was Samson Tangaroa's place, you know? Place, yeah? Indeed. And the site of the IS-7 incident. Well, word is Frost's ice sculptures are suddenly back on display 18 years after that fateful day. The various sculptures the victim made? Who knows? Could be they're just modeled on the originals. I figured it was worth coming down for a little look-see just in case. Seemed like the least I could do for poor old Gregory. Well, alrighty then, let's go take a look at these icy marbles, shall we, kiddo? I believe they're on display in the Winter Wing, as it's very snazzily known. So, Winter Wing, Winter Wing. I don't believe it. It's locked. The gallery's open for biz, but the Winter Wonder Wings are off limits. What gives? Fender, perhaps you should look more closely at the pamphlet we were given. The Winter Wing is over there. Is it? Freaky. Could have sworn it was this one. Anywho, shall we? Then dive on in and see what we should have seen 18 years ago. Yeah, it's running this way. Ugh. See, they're still keeping it chilly as heck in these rooms. I'm about to turn into a popsicle stick. It is the Winter Wing, you know. But you're right, it's like a freezer in here. It could be a trick of the light, but it feels like the whole room is made of ice. The temperature controls will be somewhere at the back there if memory serves. Hey Master, can you go peep the degree count? I'm thinking of a complaint to the management is in order. There is such a thing as too cold, yeah? Alright, if you insist. Take your time. Mosey around and take in the sights while you're at it. I got a camera I need to prep for action. Feel like your pop might appreciate a picture of all this. I'll put it on his grave so we can have a gander. Of course. Boy wearing a backpack. What's he doing at an art gallery on his own?
He wanted to run a gallery so bad she just... the industry. Don't get it. Don't get it.
Does this boy know the owner of the gallery, perhaps? There's a huge block of ice on display here. Must be incredibly heavy, though. Maybe not. What with it being hollow on the inside? There's a constellation engraved into the surface, along with some explanatory text. The Pleiades, known to some as Subaru, they form the part of the larger constellation of Taurus. Why cram so many stars into one tiny part of a single constellation? I guess people in ancient times weren't hugely careful about such things. There are two large ice statues on display here. Guess these are remakes of Frost's work from 18 years back. Real eye-catching stuff. My sculpture is a heck of an art form, huh? It is. These are the works my father never got to see. I think that I get to see them instead so many years later. Sorry to butt in while you're deep in a think hole, Master. But would you mind looking this way a sec? This way? Beautiful, yeah, just like that. And, really? Say cheese. Please don't do that again. I don't like having my picture taken. My bad, big guy, my bad. Had to check if this old thing was still working is all. Now that you mention it, your camera does look rather ancient. Yep, vintage model. Ever heard of an instant camera? It develops the picture right after you take the shot. Still twists my noggin trying to think how it works. I know what an instant camera is, although I've never used one. Should have known Mr. Know-It-All would know it all. You really are your father's son. Alright, step aside. I need to get some good shots of the room here. Always joking, he looks very serious about the pictures he's taken. He must have his own theories about the IS-7 incident. Whoa, that should have been a paparazzi. These are gold, and they develop right away. Wanna see? Well, since you've already shoved one in my face... Alright, Brainiac, question. What do these two sculptures represent? They appear to represent Taurus and Gemini, two constellations best observed during wintertime. Bingo! He shoots, he scars. Well, you're a regular encyclopedia, Master. Guess this is why this is the Winter Wing, right? Because they have the Winter Star stuff on display here. Anyway, seeing as I'm the nicest old rogue on the block, that one's yours for keepsies. Thanks. Yeah, I see a salt lamp in the back. So, the victim made these same Zodiac statues out of flavored ice for the contest 18 years ago. Sure did. Lovingly crafted life-size desserts. Only ever saw the old ones in photos, though. These are the spit of the originals. So this is what you wanted to show me. Yep, I think Gregory would have wanted you to see him, too. And I may not have had it in me to come here on my own. Or to drag you along. Not at all. I'm happy to be able to see you where my father's final case unfolded. Good to hear you say so, Paleo. Let's see if we grab another quick snap to commemorate this heartwarming occasion. Absolutely not. This lamp appears to be made of rock salt, illuminating the diagram of the zodiac just above it. Yes, both Gemini and Taurus are not only zodiac signs, but constellations that are visible during winter. Winter constellations on display in the winter wing, and uniquely, these statues are made of flavored ice. According to the pamphlet we received, the ones in the other rooms are made of crystal glass. This might be rather fitting for the summer wing too. Who doesn't like a nice snow cone on a sunny day? But then it would probably be too similar to this room, I suppose.
So, how about this? I scream out, "Oh no, this must be the work of that villain, the mask." Yeah, and I go, "That's me, the legendary Master Mask." Yeah, and then, no. Say that and you'll be in cuffs before you can blink, Ronnie. Got to take this more seriously, otherwise how are we going to get this to market, to sell?
What exactly are these two plotting? There's an enormous block of ice on display here. There's some explanatory text engraved in it. Castor and Pollux. Every year in December, countless shooting stars can be seen emanating from this constellation.
So then, the mask needs to... Yeah, and then I
wish these two would stop talking so loudly. It's difficult to concentrate. Never mind, I'll just go take a look at some other exhibits. Huh? Panda, I can't seem to find the temperature controls you mentioned. Oh yeah, it's a little tricky if you don't know where it's at. Yeah, I'll have it open for you in a jiffy. Huh? Anything's locked. Makes sense, I guess. Well, one of the visitors cranking up the thermostat and melting the art. According to the pamphlet, the winter wing is kept at a constant 27 degrees. Oh wee, that's colder than a snow one's cold bits. I'm gonna freeze to death in here. Guess there's only one thing for it. Somebody's getting a snuggle. Hey, what's with the icy stare? You want me to freeze to death? No. Alrighty, I got the shots I wanted. Shall we scoot on over to another wing and see what's cooking? Might as well do the full tour while we're here. I suppose so. Ah! What was that? Came from the fountain room. Come on, let's go see what's up. Oh dear God, no. Yes, there's someone on the ground. Is that... Larry, what are you doing here? Actually, never mind that. What on earth is going on?
Edgy! You should have seen it. It was awful.
Just calm down and tell me why there is an unconscious man on the floor.
I didn't do anything. He just fell down in front of me.
Wait, I know this guy.
Is everything alright? Don't you know it's rude to make a racket in an art gallery, you naughty boys?
Wait, the smell. You're still breathing, but I know these symptoms. It's not safe, Miles. We need to get everybody out of here. Everyone, with me. There isn't a moment to lose. There's poison gas coming out of that room. How's the victim doing, Fender? Not good. He inhaled a lot of gas. He's still out and it sounds like it's pretty serious. But the paramedics said there's no sign of external injury and that he was conscious before it happened. Anyway, he's alive. Just barely. Lucky we found him when we did. But like I said, he's not out of the woods yet. They put him in the medical room with a specialist. You see, I couldn't help noticing that it seemed like you knew him, Fender. Sure do. That was Caramello Gusto. He was here back when the whole IS-7 thing went down. A confectioner? So he was here 18 years ago too. Anywhoozles, this guy here seems like he's in rude health. Old pal of yours, Malzarino? Yes, something like that. I'm glad you're okay, Larry.
Something like that? Are you serious, Edgy? You know me since elementary school. Crush a guy's feelings, why don't you? Yeah, anyway, you know, you're supposed to call me Maurice Denim when I'm dressed like this. So no more Larry, okay? Got that?
This is Larry Butz. He's a bit of a troublemaker, but he's one of my only friends from back when we were little kids. Ever since he developed a passion for art, he's been trying to make it big as Maurice Denim. With new name or not, he's still the same old Larry. Whoa, great school buddies. I need to go tell Gregory about this. It'll be over the moon to hear you have a pal. He was always worried you never clicked with anybody.
Hear that, Edgy? You're lucky to have a friend like me.
I never knew I was the cause of such worries for my father. Never mind that now, Larry. What are you doing here?
Maurice, Edgy. How many times do I have to tell you? It's Maurice.
What are you doing here?
What's with the demon eyes? Alright, I'll talk. Just stop looking at me like that.
Good, now talk.
You want to know why I'm here? But why the heck do you think? For my art, of course. Oh, and I'm coming on a date here with Lulu soon, so I thought I'd better scope the place out.
Oh, not actually for your art at all.
Maurice, my man.
An artist and a romantic. You'll have to introduce me to this lady friend of yours.
Oh, sure. Nice to have somebody take an interest for once.
Spare me. Oh, by the way, Lauricio. Did you notice anything when you found the victim?
Nothing in particular.
Didn't you say you'd seen something awful?
Oh, that. The old guy, he just appeared and then splat. He was on the floor. Scared the life out of me. But for once, I had nothing to do with any of it.
Don't look so proud. That's the least we should be able to hope for.
Honoured guests, I can only apologise for the trouble you've experienced. I'm Judy Bound, the gallery manager.
Another person from the IS-7 incident. Good to see you, Judes.
Mr. Fender, it's always a pleasure.
She was at the reception desk when we arrived, so she's the one in charge here.
Can't believe you had to go through something so awful on our first day of business.
Hey, quit it. It's not your fault. Oh wait, I guess I better introduce you guys. Judy, meet Miles Edgeworth, son of the late great Gregory.
Really? You're Mr. Edgeworth's son? Oh. Isn't this fabulous? A great man's son here with us. 18 long years have passed, but now look, he's here at last. It's very lovely to meet you, Mr. Fine Attorney number 2.
There. Judy, that was the bomb. I see you're in good voice as ever. Miles Edgeworth, Prosecutor. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, you're a prosecutor. I'm so sorry. Forgive me to jump into the conclusions.
She's very polite, but there's something strange about her.
Hey, Judy, can I get an autograph? You can write it in here. Well, if you're sure you'd even want such a thing.
Why do you want it, Larry?
Rude, you know who she is, right?
Come on, Master. You don't keep up with showbiz news or nothing. I guess that's no big surprise. What's going on? Why are they looking at me like that? Judy is a living legend. Not just TV, movies, musicals, chart-topping hits, you name it.
Oh, don't be silly. I'm just a humble art gallery owner now. I finally quit the biz for good. Finished shooting my last movie just the other day, in fact. Some of my co-stars were even kind enough to say that they would come visit me once we opened. Anyway, here you are, and good luck with your artistic endeavors. Thanks so much, Judy. I'll treasure it till my dying day.
Ah, you and me are peas in a pod, Larice. Peas in a gosh dang pod. How lovely for you both. Larry, could you go practice your drawing somewhere or something? You did come all the way to an art gallery after all. It would be a shame to waste the opportunity.
A real artist, drawing our exhibits. What an honor.
Guess even you can have a bright idea once in a while, Edgy. Alright, Judy, seeing as you were so nice about it, I guess I will. Be right back.
He's a real live wire, that one.
That's one way of putting it. I can only apologize. By the way, there was another woman with you before. Where is she now?
You mean Delicia? Delicia Scone? She's in the medical room, helping to care for Mr. Gusto. I call it the medical room, but it's nothing quite so grand, of course. I couldn't stay with him, as I'm the only one on staff, and I can't leave the gallery unattended for long.
Delicia Scone. We've heard that name before, haven't we, Fender? Sure have. Sounds like our IS-7 bingo card is complete. Something tells me this isn't a coinkydink.
Perhaps I could offer you gentlemen a cup of tea?
Drop of the old Judy Bound special blend. Why not? For old time's sake. That would be lovely. Thank you.
Now, if you'll both excuse me, I'd better go and explain things to the other visitors.
You do your thing, Judes. Thanks again. This aroma. Ceylon, I believe. Let's give it a try. This is a fine blend. A top quality Ceylon indeed. Its citrus aroma. And to improve one's ability to concentrate, right? The old man said those exact words 18 years ago. Really takes me back. There's just one difference. Jews called the sauces back then. Not today, though, it seems. Anyway, don't you think this is all a little odd? Every single person from an 18-year-old case all assembled in the same place at the same time? Yes, it almost feels as if an investigation is in order. What, Mr. Edgeworth, sir? You're alright?
Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Fender. We heard you got caught up in a poison gas attack, then we came as fast as we could.
Well, if it isn't the cavalry, come on team, bring it in.
No way. Besides, you're both doing just fine. Gummy and I got ourselves all worked up over nothing.
Detective Gumshoe, what were you thinking bringing Kay with you? Sorry, sir. I know it was dangerous, what with the poison gas and all, but you wouldn't take no for an answer. I ran and I ran and I ran and I ran and I ran, but I just couldn't shake her off.
When it comes to running away, a great thief right here is the world champ.
Then run away, don't chase the poor detective. All set, sir. Just say the word and I'll head in there and start investigating. You guys stay here. The gas could still be dangerous. Alright, we're counting on you, detective. Good luck in there, Dickie boy.
No way, Gummy almost looked like a real detective. I'm so proud of him.
But he is a real detective. This is Edgeworth speaking. Mr. Edgeworth, looks like the gas is mostly dissipated, sir. Very good, detective. Now calm down and tell me what you see. Yes, sir. First up, the exhibits. There's a statue of two people on the left side. And on the right, some kind of two-horned animal. Right, statue of two people and a two-horned animal. Sounds familiar. But it sounds identical to the display in the Winter Wing. Other than that, this place looks pretty damp. The sprinklers sprayed the place good. Must be what stopped the gas from spreading. Sprinklers? Are there any signs of a fire? No, sir. And the fire alarm hasn't been triggered either. Sprinklers look like the type that detect heat and smoke. When they detect something, they send an alarm, either fire or smoke, to the security room. Guess they read the gas as smoke, and that triggered the smoke alarm that way. And was anyone in the security room when that alarm went off? Well, this place only has one employee, and that's Judy Brown, the manager. And she was at the reception desk across from the security room the whole time since the gallery opened. So she heard the alarm from across the way and turned on the sprinklers. Yep, seems they can only be switched on manually, and only from there. Wouldn't want the art getting soaked for no good reason, I guess. And if it's manual, you could maybe even check how bad the fire was and try to get some stuff out first. So the security setup is geared around protecting the exhibits. That makes sense in an art gallery, I guess. One more thing. Freezing in here. This isn't the autumn wing. It's the deep midwinter wing. So the autumn wing is cold too. I checked the temperature. It's 26.5 degrees in here, sir. Why is the autumn wing being kept the same temperature as the winter wing? That's about all I've got for you now. I'll let you know if I find anything else, sir. Understood. Thank you, Detective Gumshoe.
What did Gummy have to say?
He said that the autumn wing is actually quite wintry.
Huh? I didn't get it.
I'm wondering what it could mean myself, but it's a bit hard to tell from out here. We should try to get in there as soon as the police are done with their investigation. Amen to that. We need to see what the deal is for ourselves.
Is there anybody else who might know something in the meantime?
Oh yeah, there is one guy. Miles' best bud.
It's... what?
Ugh, if we have to, and I guess we have to.
Wait, that's... Okay, didn't expect to see you here. You're looking as fresh-faced as ever. Yeah, long time no see. Larry, right? So here's the deal, Kay. I'm Larice right now. You see, I'm also a bit of an artist. So it's your alias. I like it. Good to see you, Larice. Always knew you were a nice, thoughtful kid.
Like some people. I have some questions for you, Larry.
What the? How am I a suspect? Just because I found the guy, that doesn't mean I did the crime.
I never said you did. I just need you to tell us what you saw. You said you saw something awful. How so exactly?
No, I didn't see anything, and I didn't do anything, okay? I don't think I did anyway.
Oh, Chief, you don't sound too sure of yourself at the end there. There's something you should know about him, Fender. When something smells, it's usually the butts. We've been saying that about Larry for 26 years now. His ability to attract trouble is legendary, for want of a better word. His ability to cause trouble, too. I suppose I better find out what he did this time. Our aim is to uncover anything that Larry might be hiding. However,
I didn't see anything and I didn't do anything. You can't prove otherwise.
it's almost impossible for him to keep his cool. I'll need to bide my time when he gets agitated and wait for him to calm down. Let's start by asking him to go into detail about what he's doing here. It shouldn't prove too much of a challenge, so let's get this over with. Why exactly did you come to the art gallery today?
What kind of question is that? What, you think I don't belong in a gallery or something? Hey, you're gonna ignore me, and I'm gonna paint your portrait. When I'm done, I'll scribble all over it. Hey, I'm joking, okay? I'd never scribble over one of my pieces. How could I? They're valuable artworks.
According to you, perhaps. I imagine I might struggle to agree.
Laugh it up, funny guy. Luckily, some people actually believe in my work. She's called Lulu, okay? And she says my pictures are masterpieces. So, if she likes something, I'll draw it for her. Anything at all.
And where is this Lulu? How come you're here alone?
What? A guy can't be apart from his girlfriend for 1 second? I have my own life too, you know. Fine. Lulu said she's a Gemini, okay? I thought I could do a sketch of the statue to show her on a date.
And I expect you're pretty proud of this sketch.
Not so much this time, actually. But you know, it being her sign and all, I just thought maybe she might kind of like it.
How very like you to try to tell me nothing and give so much away in the process. So to summarize, you came here today to draw a sketch of the Gemini statue for your girlfriend Lulu.
What? How did you figure all that out?
From your incessant prattling, you just can't help yourself, can you?
Fine, then I won't say another word.
Larry may want to keep his mouth shut now, but I'll have my answers one way or another. Let's ask him what he did after he arrived here at the gallery. We'll soon see what he's hiding, it's just a matter of time. Alright, tell me what you did once you arrived here.
What's the big idea? Why are you staring at me like that? I don't remember. I didn't have a pamphlet, so I didn't know what was where. I just kinda hung around by the fountain. What gives, Edgy? If you don't have anything to ask, then let me get back to my sketching.
Wait. Guess I ignored him and his blathering for too long. Oh crap, that actually took off a lot. I need to study my opponent's reactions and pick my responses accordingly. What that? Teary eyes and I wasn't paying attention. You didn't receive a pamphlet when you paid your entrance fee at the reception desk.
Huh? My, you mean entry isn't not free to get in here?
You mean to tell me that you entered without paying?
Oh, I'm sorry, okay? It wasn't deliberate. There wasn't anybody at the reception desk is all. I thought entry must be free.
You're saying Miss Bound wasn't at the reception desk at the time?
Yeah, but there was maybe somebody in the little room opposite.
Interesting. According to Detective Gumshoe, Miss Bound had to enter the security room to activate the sprinkler system. I expect she wasn't at the reception desk because she was busy responding to the incident.
And right after she finally got the place open for business too. Oh, Judy. The Winter Wing, gallery's greatest attraction, gonna be ruined now.
You say you didn't have a pamphlet, and yet you seem to know all about the Winter Wing. For example, that the Gemini statue that you came here to draw just so happens to be in said room. Therefore, it was your intention to visit the Winter Wing all along, wasn't it?
Ow! How did you get to me again? Fine, you're right. I came here for the Gemini statue. Yeah, I came here to visit the Winter Wing. I won't deny it.
Well, he's not one to confess so easily. Then again, he's always managed to surprise me in unusual ways. Let's see what more he can tell us about the Winter Wing. I expect even Larry has found his feet a little by now. I'll have to watch his reactions more carefully and see what information I can glean from him. What did you see in the Winter Wing, Larry?
You don't let up, do you? I told you I didn't see anything. Galleries are nice and all, but I kind of changed my mind once I got here. Thought I'd go meet my girlfriend instead.
I want to learn more here, or I'll need a clue of some kind. Better try another approach for now. Larry, be honest. Did you enter the Winter Wing?
What is that? Is that suspicion I see in your eyes? I tried to get in there, sure, but...
You tried to get in, but you couldn't.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to get in there, but that old guy came out and fell to the ground, and like I said, it was all pretty shocking.
So, you were unable to enter the Winter Wing because the victim emerged and collapsed in front of you.
Yeah, came out of the Winter Wing door and then down he went.
Wasn't it the Autumn Wing the victim came out of?
That stupid poison gas thing had never happened. I'd be in there now happily sketching away. Right now.
Larry seems to have the Autumn and Winter Wings mixed up. Regardless, it seems his aim really was to make a sketch of one of those statues. This could be a useful clue. What did you see in the Winter Wing, Larry?
You don't let up, do you? I told you, I didn't see anything. Larry's a nice one, but I kind of changed my mind once I got here. Yep, I haven't you. Why clue?
Didn't you say you came here to make a sketch of one of the statues for your girlfriend? You gave up on that a little easily, didn't you? Surely you saw something, even if you were distracted by the victim's collapse.
Well, I didn't not see something. But that doesn't prove that I did see something totally terrifying either, does it?
Really, Larry? You could at least try to make this a little harder for me. I put it to you, Larry Butz, that you did in fact see something totally terrifying. Nah! How? How did you do it, Edgy? Are you some kind of mind reader? Fine, I guess there's no point in trying to keep it a secret any longer. I'm not sure there's much point in you trying to keep any secrets given your track record. It wasn't exactly the most edifying use of my time, but that's checkmate. I couldn't help staring at that Gemini statue. My eyes were drawn to it.
Objection!
You keep talking about a Gemini statue, but there's no way you saw what you think you saw. It's simply not possible.
What do you mean? You think I saw a ghost statue or something?
Larry's still labouring under the misconception that he was looking at the Winter Wing. This piece of evidence shows us what Larry was really looking at.
Take that!
Take a look at this pamphlet. The Autumn Wing features sculptures depicting Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, and Aries. Not only that, but I've seen the statue depicting Gemini in the Winter Wing for myself. Which means that whatever you saw, it can't have been a statue of Gemini.
Guess that makes sense.
Huh? Why is he not more surprised by that?
It seemed pretty weird now that I think about it. One of the two people did look like a goddess. And the other stuff, guess that wasn't my imagination either.
Other stuff?
You're interested in it too, aren't you, Edgy? Great, let me show you.
Show me? What exactly?
I drew a picture of it all. Got the whole thing down exactly as I saw it. I still not that confident in my work, so well, I want to see. Really? Alright, here.
What on earth? It's grotesque. You're trying to tell me that the statue was crying tears of blood?
I have to say, Louise, it's pretty scary. Right, because it was scary. I was supposed to be a statue of Gemini, but it up and turned into a goddess right before my eyes. Freaked me out so bad, I screamed out loud.
Well, he wasn't reacting to the victim collapsing in front of him after all. Wait, when you say it turned into a goddess, what do you mean exactly?
What do you mean? What do I mean? The bottom half was suddenly a fish. That's what I mean.
Goddess with a fishy bottom half? Sounds like Pisces to me. I heard it's all based on the legend of a goddess and her son turning into a fish to escape some baddie.
Wow, really? I thought Pisces was just two plain old fish. Reggie, do you think the statue's cursed? I mean, tears of blood, turning into a fish, that's some pretty cursed stuff right there.
Don't be a fool. I imagine you simply mistook one statue for the other.
Look at you, tucking it carefully into your organizer.
I simply thought I might have use for it later. Maybe in the bathroom.
You're the worst, Edgy, the worst.
Kinda freaky deaky though, huh? A statue with a bottom half that changes shapes. I'm pretty keen to find out what went down in the Autumn Wing, aren't you? I suppose I am, yes. Could there be some kind of trick to the Pisces statue, perhaps? Yes, Edgeworth speaking. Well, I'm just about done in here, sir. There's no danger from the gas anymore. You can come in now. Thanks. Good work, Detective. It seems it's finally safe to enter the Autumn Wing. good detective sure has made impeccable timing.
Come on, let's go take a look. I want to see this Pikey statue. You're going in there, Kay? Maybe I should come along too.
Did you really think I was going to leave you out here on your own? I know better than that. Alright everyone, to the autumn wing. Here we are at last, and it really does look a lot like the winter wing. Glad you could make it. Oh, hey there. You're, Harry, was it? Good to see you, Harry.
No, for the last time their names is erased the name.
Detective, your report if you don't mind.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay, so first off, found a blowtorch. The nozzle was still warm when I found it, so I guess it was used pretty recently.
Was somebody using it to heat something? Was the stepladder already like that when you entered?
Yeah, guess it was used by whoever let out the gas. The gas was inside the case until someone opened the lid.
Is that so? The Pisces statue.
Huh? You're sure up on your constellation, sir. You know what the other one in the case is too?
This is the autumn wing, so I imagine it should be Capricorn.
Guess there's no fooling you, sir. I thought it was supposed to be Taurus. That weird cloth that's draped around it kinda tripped me up.
Isn't that a piece of luminous cloth from way back when? What's that doing here? Now we have evidence from the AS7 incident too.
Taking a look around. Seems there's a piece of luminous cloth on each of the other cases too.
Yeah, and that just makes me want to see what's hidden underneath real bad.
Sure, let me whip them right off for you.
Wow, they're beautiful.
So, the transformation Larry witnessed. Could it have been the moment when the cloth around Pisces' statue lower half fell away?
See, Edgy? See? I wasn't imagining things, and I wasn't mistaken.
Ugh. Listen, Master. I think we can all agree this room is fishier than a bucket of fish. My hunch is that somebody deliberately tried to make this room look just like the winter wing. Yes, I was thinking exactly the same thing. He even covered the statues up in just such a way as to make them look similar. For the cover over the bottom half, the Pisces and Gemini statue look almost the same. Ditto for Capricorn. Cover his bottom half up and it looks pretty much like Taurus. The other two can't be fixed as easily, so covering their cases up completely was the only answer. So somebody went to some lengths to disguise the autumn wing as the winter wing. I'd say we need to take a closer look at things in here, wouldn't you, Fender? Mr. Winner and Judge Gavel.
Ugh, what the heck are you guys doing here? You're the last thing I need. This is my senior here. Mr. Edgeworth, it seems I have failed in my duty yet again. I pray one day to make you see that your presence is not required at every crime scene. And that co-opting the good detective from your own ends is neither right nor good. I will have to give serious consideration as to how the goddess of justice would have me judge you.
Well, you got it all wrong. It was me who asked Mr. Edgeworth to help, not the other way around.
Was? Well then, you know what that means, Detective Flatfoot.
Oh, you mean...
Exactly. Your, salary check is taking a hit. Bet you're looking forward to payday now. Huh? Always wanted to say that.
Man, getting a wage cut from you of all people.
Not so fast, Mr. Winner. I was simply assisting the police's investigation as a witness and bystander. Detective Gumshoe is entirely in the right.
Oh, he is, huh? So you're saying I should give him a bonus instead?
That's not what I'm saying at all.
I wouldn't mind a little salary bump.
Your compassion and generosity are truly heartwarming, Eustace. But we must take into account past transgressions when making judgments that concern the future. And I hereby judge Mr. Edgeworth and his associates unfit to tread the hallowed grounds of this scene. What? But we only just got here. The goddess of justice has conferred her blessing on Eustace, and Eustace alone.
By which you mean this is Mr. Winner's case.
That's exactly what she means. Time for the warm-up act to get off the stage. After all, I solved this one already. I have a suspect lined up and everything.
What did you say? A suspect already? Who?
Who else but your artist friend over there? Huh? Me? Me? What's going on, Iggy?
Your guess is as good as mine. I can't even begin to imagine how this boy's mind works.
Unsurprising that you lack the attitude to understand the winning mindset.
Lack the attitude. Something tells me he doesn't know the real winning turn of phrase.
Well put, Eustace. Mr. Edgeworth does indeed lack a certain aptitude. Yeah, exactly. Where's your aptitude, smart guy? Oh, he's totally shameless. Underestimating my information gathering skills at your own peril. Before we came here, we dropped by the medical room to ask the doctor there a few questions, and he told me where the poison gas came from.
And where might that have been?
It was it's this chemical you find everywhere. Can't think of the name just now though. Wait there a second, let me just call him real quick. Perhaps I can answer your question while Eustace is on the telephone. Why let him make the call if you know the answer? The gas was created by mixing two specific chemicals. Ubiquium and asphion. What kind of chemicals are they? Ubiquium is a red liquid used in all manner of everyday products. Paint and dishwashing liquids, among various others. On its own, it's entirely benign.
So it's something anyone could get their hands on.
Precisely, but the same cannot be said for asphyxium. That does sound nasty. What's it used for? It is the main ingredient in a product called Infesticide Ultra. It is pure white in colour and is unavailable to the average consumer. In fact, it is nigh impossible for members of the public to obtain it here in this country. As such, we are currently investigating where it might have come from. I'm back, and I know the name of the chemical now.
Don't waste your breath. Judge Gavel informed us already.
Huh? Oh, great. That'll make this quicker, I guess. So, the source of the gas, ubiquium, is used in paint and stuff, right? And there was somebody here at the gallery today who brought paints with them. Your friend, the artist. You can't accuse me just because of that. Objection to the paints on your palette in your hand. Edgy, is this kid okay? He seems a little...
Indeed, I haven't known him for long, but he's a little prone to jumping to the wrong conclusions.
Hey, quit talking about me like I'm not even here. Ignore them, Eustace. They're simply intimidated by you. Nothing more. Why not give them yet another reason to fear you with one of your winning deductions? Winning? Yes, good idea. Get a load of this, losers. Our friend the artist here won the race to find the victim and was first on the scene, correct? And the gas the victim was poisoned with is made from ubiquium, which, as we know, is found in paint. He was carrying paint on his person, and he was one winning stride away from the victim, which surely makes him the winner on our list of suspects. Right, Gavel? You think so too? Right? It is a possibility that certainly can't be discounted. Well, would the artist like to share his version of events? Did you leave red paint at the scene of the crime? Or something more sinister? A catalyst for a cloud of toxic gas, perhaps? I think I might have left my heart there, you know, and you might have picked it up. I would be careful what you say to me. My gavel is already primed to deliver a guilty verdict.
Objection!
Ignore him, please, Your Honor. It's for the best.
Objection!
Quit stalling! You can't run away from the fact that my reasoning is flawless. So admit defeat and crawl on out of here with your tail between your legs, because I win!
I have better things to do than pick holes in your faulty logic, but I don't suppose I have much choice.
Hold it!
I'll be the first to admit that he is something of a suspicious character.
Objection!
First to admit. Are you trying to beat me to it? But you can't, because I'm the winner. I'm the first rate always. I'm a first rate artist, you say?
Larry, I don't need you to make this any more convoluted than it already is. Please, Mr. Winner, just continue.
Hold it!
We do indeed. It seems it's found in a number of everyday products.
Right, which makes your friend's paint pretty darn suspicious. And isn't it also found in a bunch of other stuff too? She has a winning point, I guess. Right, Gavel? I suppose she does. As I said, ubiquium is also found in dishwashing liquids, among other things.
In other words, paint isn't the only possible explanation.
No, but just listen to the rest of my amazing deduction, will you?
Hold it!
It's by no means certain that paint was the source of the poison gas.
Well, it's by no means certain that it wasn't either. Was that supposed to sound clever? Copying Mr. Edgeworth's speaking style isn't a shortcut to looking cool, you know?
You make it sound as if you think there's something wrong with how I speak.
Anyway, to bring it all home, my winning deduction shows he had paint, and he was closest to the victim.
Hold it!
That's really all you're basing your suspicion of Mr. Butz on.
What? You have a problem with that? Show me some proof, loser. Put up or shut up. He's literally asking for it, Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, so let's find the right piece of evidence and really give it to him. We know that Mr. Winner isn't much of a listener. And we also know that his reasoning is likely to be based on a flawed assumption.
Yeah, he even found the other guy and he still got it wrong somehow.
Let's get this over with as quickly as we can. It's a waste of all our time. I don't know which fucking statement he is on.
Objection!
Nope. Really nice if I knew which fucking statement do you shit on.
Overruled.
Should just make it use it on anything when it's not really like this. I'm generally not sure what it is on. Also be that because it needs asphyxiation as well.
Objection!
Okay, it is. Your deductions are anything but winning, I'm afraid. Unless you're looking to win a prize for incoherence.
So you agree that I deserve a prize?
What you deserve is to be set right. The gas came from within the case containing the sculptures of Pisces.
It did, and it was created by the artist guy, with the red paint that we know is full of ubiquium.
Allow me to offer you a bit of advice. One prosecutor to another. It always helps to listen carefully to others. The gas is created when ubiquium is mixed with another substance, asphyxion. Paint containing ubiquium alone wouldn't create any kind of gas at all.
It wouldn't? I thought they said that the guy was asphyxiated with ubiquium.
So you're telling me all this was based on a mishearing of the forensic report? The gas had already done its work by the time Mr. Butz found the victim. Perhaps it's your own aptitude you should be worrying about.
My aptitude? What does that even mean? You literally used the word 5 minutes ago. It means one's ability, or how suited one is to a particular task, Eustace.
And attitude, the other word you misused only minutes ago as well, is another thing entirely.
I get what you're doing. You're making fun of me again.
What I am doing is demonstrating that you do not have the aptitude required to head up this investigation.
Before you go any further, you might wish to consider some of the flaws in your own statements.
And what flaws might those be?
Firstly, that you cannot prove that your artist friend did not enter the autumn wing.
That's...
And secondly, that you cannot prove the red paint did not have something to do with the crime.
But the paint isn't important on its own, surely. What's important is the combination of the red ubiquium with white asphyxion. How exactly were the two substances introduced to one another? Surely we need to figure that out before anything else.
Indeed we do. And that is what Eustace will be investigating next. Or what he would already be investigating had you not been here making needless trouble.
we're not here to make trouble. Quite the opposite, in fact. We're here to help.
Are you saying you know how the gas was made? I don't believe you.
I can certainly point you towards a vital clue as to how it was done.
He is bluffing, Eustace. Ignore him. Fine, Gavel. He's clearly lying. Might as well let him talk himself even further into a corner. If you are sure. Come on then, show me what you got. What shows how the gas was created, huh?
Take that!
You're saying this somehow shows us how the chemicals were mixed to make the poison gas?
That's exactly what I'm saying, yes. Thank you for noticing.
They do say I have good eyes.
The red tears Mr. Butz saw, that was the ubiquium.
What? Wait a second. You're saying the statue cried this stuff out? What, so our culprit is some kind of evil spirit?
How much time am I going to have to waste talking him through this step by step? The red tears alone would not have been enough to create the gas. They must have mixed with something else inside that case.
What evidence do you have that's what happened?
The evidence is right there in the sketch I just showed you. I need to point out the part that shows that the two liquids had mixed together. Where's that part?
Take that!
Observe the pool of pink liquid beneath the Pisces statue's glass case. This clearly shows that the two chemicals mixed.
Wait, I don't get it. How does that prove some ubiquium mixed with some asphyxian?
We have an artist with us. Why don't we ask him? Larry, you claim to be something of a painter. I imagine you have some experience mixing colours. What happens when you mix red with white?
Don't treat me like a dum-dum, Edgy. I did graduate from junior high, you know. Any idiot knows that red and white make pink. I mean, there's variations. You got your rose pinks and your baby pinks.
Hold it!
That will be more than enough, thank you. Do you see what I'm getting at now, Mr. Winner?
Oh, I think I do. Ubiquium is red, asphyxian is white. Mix the two together, and you get pink. That's what the pink liquid is.
Yes, very good. Got there in the end.
Yes. Interesting. You finally convinced him.
Overruled!
Mr. Edgeworth, you have raised a possibility, nothing more. We cannot know for sure that this shows the results of the two chemicals having mixed. And besides, the sketch you are attempting to enter as evidence was drawn by a suspect. How can we possibly hope to rely on its veracity? Hey, I drew everything exactly as I saw it. A true artist never lies or embellishes the truth. Forgive me, but I did not ask for your opinion. Oof, she's a cold one, but I like it.
You may rest assured, Your Honor, that I mean to prove my theory to all of our satisfaction.
Overruled!
It may not be wise to jeopardize your position any further, Mr. Edgeworth. Especially as there is another question to which you have yet to provide a satisfactory answer. How can you prove that this man did not enter the Autumn Wing? Until you are able to, there is little more to discuss.
Oh, wait. Maybe the victim could help us out with that.
Mr. Gusto, he is still unconscious and in critical condition.
Oh, yes? Oh.
Now, if you don't mind, Eustace needs to carry out his own investigation of this area. If you would be so kind as to leave him in peace. For the presiding judge's sake, I pray to the goddess that you need not even be... Blah. Blah, blah, blah. For the presiding judge's sake, I pray to the goddess that you need not ever be summoned to testify. Now then, is there something you wish to say, Mr. Artist? If you could just hold that pose for a moment there, my Ice Queen. I am Justice Verity Gavel, and I would be grateful if you would dispense with the charge's epithets.
Oh, finally she tells me her name. Nice to meet you, Verity. My name's Larice Denim, but you can call me Larice.
Let's stop wasting the court's time, Mr. Denim.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's just something I forgot to mention. The door was locked. Tried to open it and then the old guy came tumbling out.
It does appear that the door can be unlocked from the inside. However, that does not necessarily mean that it was locked at the time as you claim. Without proof, your statement carries little weight, I'm afraid.
Objection!
Well, as it happens, I can back up our pal here on that.
What?
Yep, he tried to come in here too, and it's just like the guy said, it was locked up tight. Ain't that so, Malzarino? It is. I distinctly remember how it went. So, winnowing. Huh? I don't believe it. It's locked. Gallery's open for biz, but the winner wonder wings off limits. What gives? Prior to the incident with the gas, it was not possible to enter this room from the outside.
And what is to say that your suspicious friend was not in here with the victim the entire time?
Objection!
The fact that he didn't suffer the ill effects of the gas. Search him for a gas mask if you like. I doubt you'll find one.
I see. Then I suppose we will have to take you at your collective word.
That was a little too easy. Well, Judge Gavel, do you accept that Mr. Butz is no longer a viable suspect? And that once again Mr. Winner's deductions have fallen short of the mark?
What are you talking about? I just need some more information, that's all. You can't blame a guy for being a little hasty with his deductions. You know, it's not cool for a prosecutor to be saying stuff like that, right? Very well. Then perhaps we should call our next suspect. Mr. Dunim, you may step down from the stand.
Huh? Go? I mean, but I was enjoying our time together, Verity. Let me stick around, please.
Overruled.
No mercy. Squished my heart into a gooey mush. I love it. Who exactly is this next suspect?
The pharmacist, Delia Scone. Your artist friend may have struggled to lay his hands on a bottle of Infesticide Ultra. But someone in her line of work would surely have a better idea of where such a thing might be acquired. The court hereby calls for a 10-minute recess. Eustace, we will go and fetch the suspect. Your winning smile will bring her running, I am sure.
My winning?
Of course, Gavel. Let's go get her at once. Hey, Detective Flatfoot, you carry on investigating while I'm gone, okay?
Oh, sure.
Is it possible? Would Judge Gavel have suspected Miss Scone from the start?
Now that you mention it, she wasn't helping Mr. Winner like she usually does, huh?
What exactly is your ankle here, Judge Gavel?
Ooh. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Right. I'm gonna stop here for now then. My voice is more or less still fine, but I'm not going to risk like another freaking hour. Because I know I ain't fucking up to snuff yet. So, that will be all for now, and we'll be back tomorrow with more. For now then, bye.